Hey guys, good evening and thanks for joining. So in the last class, we discussed about networking configurations. In the network tab, we have to configure DNS server integration, proxy server integration, and also network interfaces configuration. Okay. So then even we have to configure about the routing part. Okay, that is about network interfaces configuration. Even in case you are facing any issues related to networking and also troubleshooting something or debugging something, we can do the packet capture. That is a part of networking. Next one, we have started security profiles. So why we started security profiles first? Because in the policies and objects tab, we have to assign the security profiles. So antivirus we have discussed already. Web filter, video filter is completed. DNS filter is already completed. Application control also completed. IPS also completed. Next one is file filter. So in this file filter, it can inspect what our files are receiving. So example, that may be inbound file or outbound file. Meaning here, example, email attachments. Email attachments, whatever it is coming as a inbound email or outbound email, it will inspect. And in case that email contains any malicious malware content, so either it will block or allow, or maybe it will be reset, or maybe it will clean. So that is one thing. Even in our organization level, okay, dangerous files we can block. I already told you several times this one also. Example, .dll file. It's one of the dangerous category. Second one is 7GP is one of the category. RAR is one of the category. So these are all the different types of files are harmful to our organization level. So now what we have to do, just we have to click on add button and we have to define the match files. Okay. And the action we have to give block file types. File types means whatever just now I told you. So example .dll, .exe, .doc, JPEG. Okay. So if you want, you can put as a monitor. If you want, you can put as a block, or if you want, you can put it allow. So those are all the different types of actions. Okay, so we want to configure and it will inspect those files. So that is all file filter. So allowing of the files as well as the blocking of the files. Next one is voice over IP, VO IP. So VO IP is a voice over IP, example of voice over IP. So you can see this one. This is the perfect example for voice over IP. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the voice over IP in couple of especially BPO sector. When I say BPO sector, call center kind of jobs, they have to work in the 24/7 using these phones only, voice or IP calls. Okay, they have to call a customer and they have to speak with the customer. That may be healthcare related or banking related or finance related. So any other voice or IP related. So they will call the customer and they will ask about the respective requirement, and finally they'll give solutions. So most of the organizations, they will use these type of phones. Those phones will work on voice over IP. So example, we have AT&T. It's one of the very popular voice over IP. Cisco also one of the very popular. Juniper, IBM, Huawei, then Aruba, Avaya. So these are all the very popular voice over IP related products. So Cisco, this is Cisco related. Okay. So if you want to monitor related to voice over IP traffic, we will use two different types of protocol. One is SIP, session initiation protocol. Example, maybe if you want to call to me in a mobile, in between you and me, one session will form. The session, it will use one of the telecommunication protocol. So that's called SIP, session initiation protocol. Okay. And also one more protocol, it will be SCCP, skinny connection connected protocol. Skinny connection connected protocol. That is also another protocol. In the voice or IP profile, what exactly we have to provide. So how many requests it has to accept. Okay. In case in our organizational level, voice or IP related calls we are using, or if you want to monitor that particular traffic as the inbound call or outbound call, so we have to define the respective request per second, how many messages they can speak in the call. So that is the limit they have to define. Okay. So that is our voice over IP. So example, this is what I'm saying, SIP. So SIP is session initiation protocol. What the port number? SIP port number. SIP port number. Session initiation protocol.
5060, sir.
5060 and 50?
5061.
Yes, that's correct. It's one of the interview question. SIP, session initiation protocol, will be used for voice over IP calls, and also in between two people if they want to call in the mobile, so they will use SIP protocol. SCCP is also one of the telecommunication protocol. So service connection connected protocol or skinny connection connected protocol. Okay, so two different types of, this is one of the voice over IP protocol basically. This is also one of the voice over IP protocol. Okay, here what exactly we have to do in the firewall level, how many requests it should accepted, and also what the call limit. Okay, so a couple of times we will receive the automated email related call setups. Whenever you are calling toll-free number using machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, automated recorded videos and messages will be there. So that is example to this one only. So they'll put one of the limit. So how much time they have to speak and automatically call has to disconnect. Okay, so that is voice over IP related only. Next one is WAF. So it will prevent OASP top 10 category of the attacks. It will prevent OASP top 10 category of the attacks. Example, buffer overflow, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, XSRF, okay, null pointer, okay, man in the middle attack, broken authentication, broken access control, and so on. Even next generation firewall has a basic functionality of web application firewall also. Okay, this is one of the interview question. Morning, I already told you. So what is the difference between next generation firewall and web application firewall? Okay, so next generation firewall will do or monitor or block or allow from layer 1 to layer 7. Okay, but on the other hand, web application firewall is dedicated to applicable to prevent or block or monitor OASP top 10 or layer 7 attacks only. That is the main difference. WAP is a subset of next generation firewall. This is one of the interview question. The last couple of differences. Difference between firewall and IDS IPS, difference between firewall and proxy, difference between firewall and next web application firewall. So these are all the couple of interview questions we can expect. Okay, so coming back now here, just click on default. So here, name of the respective security profile, and also here, okay, inspection device FortiGate. So cross-site scripting attack. It is one of the layer 7 attack or nothing but application layer 7 attack. Cross-site scripting external. Okay. So extended meaning here, client side, DOM based, and also client side, server side, and DOM based. So these are all the three different type of cross-site scripting attacks. Next one, SQL injection attack. SQL injection attack external, generic attacks, generic attack extended, Trojans, information disclosure. Information disclosure also one of the OS top 10 attack. Known exploits. Okay. So as per the even bad robot, as per the OS top 10, couple of attacks are missing now. Example, broken authentication. Broken authentication is not showing here. Broken access control, it is not showing here. Insufficient logging and monitoring, it is not showing. Server-side request forgery, it is not showing. Cross-site request forgery, it is not showing. Buffer overflow, it is not showing, right? So that's why whatever web application firewall feature is there in the next generation firewall, it will do basic functionality only, not full-fledged capability or capacity or ability. Okay, whatever WAP is doing, it will take care of all OASP top 10 as well as SANS top 25 related attack detection, monitoring, prevention, blocking also. That is WAP. But now you can see whether all OASP top 10 category of the attacks are configured here. No. Only couple of things that to cross-site, one of the very, very popular attack. That's why they configured this one. SQL injection attack. Okay, Trojans related information disclosure. But couple of other famous attacks related to OS top 10 are missing. In future, maybe FortiGate R&D team, they will add those signatures also. Okay, and also you can see action here. So action is monitor. So allow, block. So it's, as per my opinion, it's better to put all the actions as a block. All the actions, it's better to put as a block. Okay, because these application layer attacks are very dangerous to us. Okay, so that is about WAF related profile. Okay, whenever any WASP top 10 related attacks are appearing or maybe happening in the organization level, based on this WAP policy, either it will allow or monitor or block and so on. Okay, so even what is the one of the log source for the web application firewall? Next generation firewall. WASP top 10 category of the attacks of the log source. WAP is one thing, even next generation firewall also. Okay, so that is our WAP related. Next one is SSL, SSH inspection. What are certifications we are using? What are certifications we are using? So those certifications has a suite 32, one of the vulnerability. Suite 32 is one of the vulnerability, and also poodle attack, hard to bleed attack, open SSL related attacks, and so on. Okay, so let's go and see now one of the profile. No inspection example. So here SSL inspection option, enable SSL inspection off. Okay, multiple clients connecting to multiple servers, meaning here our web browser of the respective Google Chrome or maybe Firefox or maybe Internet Explorer, okay, or maybe some other browsing related application. So that client has connected to multiple servers, not only single application, multiple applications. Example, HDFC or Google or YouTube or Twitter and so on. Inspect everything as a mutual TLS authentication mechanism in between client of the browser. Example, my browser. My browser is this one. When I'm connecting to now google.com. So I'm connecting to now google.com. So in between now, my client browser, nothing but my browser to the backend Google server, it will scan and it will identify the, so what are SSL related issues are there. That is the meaning. Okay. If I'm opening one more example, net banking of HDFC. So in that scenario, once again, in between myself, my client browser to the respective backend of the HDFC bank server. Okay. So it can scan and it can identify the SSL TLS related vulnerabilities issues. Okay, come back here now. So that is the meaning of this one. Inspection method, SSL certificate inspection, it will scan and it will identify. CS certificate. So there are two different types of certificates we discussed. One is self-signed. So self-signed meaning here we can create or we can, okay, so implement or we can download or we can generate on the tool itself. That is called self-signed. Purchased means third party vendors, example GoDaddy or Komodo. Okay, so VeriSign, RHLIDM. Okay, so these are all the couple of, even GTS. There are a lot of other vendors are there. So if you're purchasing from third party, so what certificate we are using, we have to provide that particular certificate information here. If you're using self-signed, it's self-signed related. If you're using purchased, then purchased. Okay, let's go and see now what certificate they are using. So they are in Zscaler. So they purchased from Zscaler. Zscaler also one of the vendor. They are providing certificate. So what was certificate in the Fortinet demo tool they are using? Zscaler, Gscaler. Zscaler also called Gscaler. Okay. Gscaler intermediate certificate. So they purchased from the Gscaler. Okay. So this certificate scanning also it will scan it. Okay. Whenever any browser, example, now I logged into my respective portigate.portdemo.co in my browser. Okay. So example, I'm repeating once again. So portigate.portdemo.com. I opened here. So just I accepted and I provided username and password and so on. In between my browser to the backend. Okay, so Portigate Zscaler CS certificate, it will scan and it will identify. Not only this one, is there any other applications are going on this firewall? It will scan those certificates also. Okay, So next one is allow block. So if is malicious related certificates or malicious related websites are there, it will block it. Okay. Untested SSL certificate, they are making it as a allow. Okay. So just they are monitoring. When you say allow, it's a monitoring part. Server certificate SNA check, it's enabled. So what is exactly this role or rule or profile configuration in our organization level? What our applications we are using, it will scan and it will identify is there any vulnerabilities are existing. Additionally, even any malicious applications end users or clients are they are trying to access. Either it can block or allow or monitor and give the alert notification. That is the importance. Okay. In case in our organization level, so what certificate we purchased and deployed, so we have to select that particular certificate here. Okay. So now FortiGate firewall, it will validate and it will inspect what our applications end users or employees they're accessing in our organization level. It will scan if those websites or applications contain any malicious content, it can block it. So example, this one. And in case untested certificates, okay, somebody is responding back as a certificate authority, it will monitor. We can put block also, this one also. Okay. So this is the way how it will scan it. Even not only this one, even additionally, certificate recovery, certificate expiry date, and also is there any vulnerabilities are existing? Example, SSL 1.0, SSL 2.0, SSL 3.0. Those are outdated versions. Those informations also will scan and it will give the alert notifications. Now we have to go and we have to see which certificate in our application level is using SSL 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, or TLS 1.0, TLS 1.1. These are all outdated one. We should not use those versions. Okay. That is about SLSH inspection. Application signature. Okay. So meaning here, whatever application category as a part of app control we discussed morning, application control. So this signature will continuously, it will update by Fortinet vendor. Fortinet vendor. So right now it is supporting 4,301 signatures. 4,301 signatures. So these signatures contains once again, so risk wise, which one is a risky applications, which one is not risky applications. So they given risky application, non-risky application. Example, you can see Act Mobile VPN. It is one of the dangerous application. Act Mobile VPN. It's one of the dangerous application. Okay. Whenever any end user, they are trying to download Act Mobile VPN in their laptop, it will hit the signature and it will generate the notification or block. In the similar way, one more is Enoniton. It's one of the application signatures once again. If I'm going here, it is showing this indicates an attempt to access Enoniton. It is one of the VPN once again. It is also one of the VPN. These are all third-party VPNs. Third-party VPNs. We should not trust those VPNs. Okay, somebody is trying to download all these certificates. Whenever any user, okay, they are trying to download these different types of VPNs from the Google, automatically Fortinet vendor will validate and finally it will generate the alert notification or maybe it will block it based on the application control whatever we have defined. So any desk also you can, you know already what's in any desk. It's a remote access device, or if you want to, okay, so access remotely another device, we can use any desk. We can share also. Okay, so this is one of the remote access related. Okay, so application. This is also medium related. So risk severity is there. Okay, so that is what. So there are different. So continuously Fortinet R&D team, they can go and they can validate what are the severity level applications are there, medium related applications, okay, high related, critical related, low related, information related. Based on the risk wise, we can categorize these signatures. Whenever any end user, they are trying to access these applications, it will generate the alert notification or it will block it based on the water app control policy we configured or profile we configured. Okay. Morning we discussed IPS signature, right? Same concept here also. So here category wise, here technology wise, here risk wise. Okay, so the category based on the category. What are 4,301 application signatures? It is identified and discovered by the Fortinet vendor. So those categories are industrial related. So many are there. Network service related, collaboration, general proxy storage backup. Technology wise, client server. So these are technology peer to peer. These are risk wise. Okay. So IPS signature already morning we discussed. So 15,782, I think somewhere it is showing morning, right? So whenever any similar to 872, yeah. So morning already I shown this one, 15,872 signature. Similar type of abnormal or malicious or suspicious applications or traffic or content, whenever any end user they are trying to access, even external attacker, they are trying to send it to or compromise to our internal applications or internal servers or internal databases as inbound traffic. Okay, so both inbound traffic as well as outbound traffic. So firewall will monitor all these abnormal, malicious, suspicious pattern behavior as well as signature. And based once it is matching to this signature, automatically it will block. Okay. So that is about IPS signature. Okay. So next one is web rating overrides. In case if you want to override from existing website to new website, what is meant by overriding? So example, www.amazon.com. Okay, so that website, if you want to redirect it to another website, example, it will use the C name record, canonical name record, converting one form of the web browser into another form of the web browser. Okay, so same concept here also. So if you want to override existing website to new websites, couple of times what will happen? Initially, whatever application they developed or whatever website they design as web design, so later they will change that particular domain. Okay, so that means you are entering the old domain, then it will override to the new domain automatically. So that is called override, web rating override. Okay, so whatever web based override related applications we have to configure here. Okay, so that is mean by web rating overrides. Example they given evil.com, hacking.org. So these are all the two different types of hacking related overriding of the applications. Okay. In the similar way, these are they blocked because it's dangerous. Hacking related websites are always dangerous. CNN.com and sfgate.com. So if you're entering CNN.com, it will override to another sfgate.com. So they allow this one. This is a genuine website. Okay. Web profile overrides. So this is web rating and here configuring the grouping. Here grouping, okay, here, so single entity. Example, we discuss part of SOFO CDR. Grouping of the similar type of people in a single team is called as group or device group or team group. Okay. So example, all L1 belongs to one group, all L2 belongs to one group, all L3 belongs to one group. In the similar way, same concept is applicable to here also. First, we have to identify the whatever override websites we have, that information we have to fill up in the web writing overrides. Then we have to group those web override related grouping part. Okay. So that is about overall. Up to here only, up to SSL, SSH inspection only, we have profile, antivirus profile, web filter profile, video filter profile, DNS filter profile, app control, intrusion prevention IPS, file filter, voice over IP, web application firewall, SSL, SSH inspection. Okay, so these many features it is doing by next generation firewall. Proxy capability it has, DNS capability it has, okay, WAF capability it has, IDS IPS capability it has. So that's why all other tools are subset of this particular next generation firewall. Okay, next generation firewall will do one more thing. It's deep packet inspection. Deep packet inspection. What is mean by deep packet inspection? Whatever inbound traffic and outbound traffic it is going on. So that IP packet, it will open and it can see is there any spoofing it's happened. Example, IP spoofing. And also every packet has a payload. If that payload has any malicious content or piece of written code is there, next generation firewall will identify, because we are configuring antivirus profile. It's a malware related. Okay. It will scan everything IP packet. Okay. And in case any malicious content is there, that information also it will identify. And also TCP three-way handshake will complete always in between client and server. So example, you are the user, you are trying to access google.com. In between you and also google.com, TCP three-way handshake will complete. To complete the TCP three-way handshake and TCP IP packet, it will use couple of flags also. How many flags we have? How many flags we have?
6.
Yes. So we have 6 flags are there. Even that flags information also we will see. Synchronization flag, acknowledgement flag, reset flag, urgent flag, push flag, finish flag. So these are all 6 flags. That is also in the question. So once we are configuring these security profiles, now what we have to do? We have to go and we have to create policies or rules. Couple of vendors, they will call it the policies. Couple of vendors, they will call it the rules. Okay. So just click on firewall policy. Okay. So here, before going and creating the rules or policies, first we have to gather the requirement. When you say gather the requirement, in our organization level, what are the different types of applications are there? And who is accessing what type of applications? So example, HR team. So HR team only though HR related application they will access. So we have to give permission to only HR team that type of applications. So maybe application development team, product development team. And also we have to see that applications or the traffic or that servers where exactly is located. So that's why we created 3 different type zones in the firewall level. One is internal or trust zone. Second one DMZ or DMZ. Third one is untrust or external or public or internet. So once you are gathering the requirement, now we have to go and we have to see from where to where the traffic is going on. Whether the traffic is going on from internal to DMZ or DMZ to external or external to internal or internal to external. Total 6 scenarios are there. Internal to DMZ is 1, internal to external 2. In the similar way, DMZ to internal, DMZ to external 4. External to internal, external to DMZ. Total probability is how many? Total 6 probabilities. So we have to identify from where to where the traffic is going on. Source zone, destination zone. Source IP, destination IP. Source user, destination user. Okay. So you know, right, how to configure the firewall policy. I already defined. So rule ID, rule name, source zone, destination zone, source IP, destination IP. Next one is um, port, protocol, security profile configuration, action. Finally, log format. So these are all the different types. So generic way I discussed. Now we are seeing vendor wise. Whatever in the class I have shown, example. Yeah. So whatever here policies I explained, rule configuration. So this rule configuration is a generic one. Now vendor to vendor, maybe 1 or 2 fields will be different. But whatever I said, it's a generic way for common to every vendor. Okay. So now coming back to here, FortiGate vendor. So they provide a role name. Okay. So they provided source zone, destination zone. So nothing but source interface, destination interface. Okay. Role name, source zone, destination zone, or source interface or destination interface. Okay. So source from where to where, destination once again, not user here. This is interface, source interface, destination interface, source user, destination user. Okay. So next one, schedule, when it has to scan this particular or match or condition meeting. Okay. Always. And service. Service is nothing but application. Okay. Action and NAT, network address translation, whether we have to enable or not. Where is the, from where to where the traffic is going on, and security profile. This is one of the very, very, very important. Without security profiles, firewall, it is like a transparent or virtual wire device. When you say transparent or virtual wire, whatever traffic will enter into the firewall, same traffic will go outside also. So that is called transparent or virtual. It will not block anything. It's a dummy device. It's a dummy device. So that's why first we have to configure the security profiles. So that is the reason I explained security profile first. After creating security profiles, based on traffic from where to where it is going on, and also whether it's email related or whether websites related. Okay, there is not a mandatory every security profiles we have to enable each and every policy or role. I'm repeating once again. So example, security profiles, how many we have? Antivirus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So remaining are signatures, forget about those. And 10 security profiles we have. It is not a mandatory to enable all those security profiles in this particular role. First, we should understand what is the traffic we are monitoring. Okay. According to that one only, we have to define these security profiles. Log is nothing but it will log everything, whatever backend it is generating, activity, computer recorded activity, or computer recorded actions. That is nothing but log. So all the logs we have to. So integrate these logs only we have to integrate it to SIM tool. Let's go and see now. Block malicious by POTI EDR. Whenever any EDR related malicious malware files are coming, POTI net company has a POTI EDR also. Nothing but what is meant by this one POTI EDR? What is my POTI EDR?
Endpoint.
Yes, endpoint security tool, antivirus or EDR tool. Antivirus or EDR malware detection and prevention tool. Okay. Block malicious by POTI EDR. So whenever any malware related files are coming in the firewall level, so using EDR, it has to block it automatically. From where to where? So all the internal interfaces, all these are internal interfaces. So WAN, what is this interface? What is this interface? WAN.
Internet, sir.
Internet, that's correct. Yeah. All these are internal users traffic. They are trying to access the external or public websites or emails also, not only websites, even emails also. In between internal related data to the external related data as an email attachment, as a website uploading or downloading, or maybe through pen drives copying, malicious URL clicking on, in between these source interfaces to the destination interfaces, if any malicious content is there, automatically it has to block. That is the policy. So source is this one, destination is this one. So these are all two interfaces. Okay, now source, once again, all users, destination. So destination is POTI EDR tool. POTI EDR tool. So source is all internal users or applications to the destination. That may be anything here. When you say all, anything. Destination where? So EDR tool. Okay, here interfaces they configured. Here source user they configured all. Destination they provided EDR tool information. Okay, always in between end user, if these interfaces malicious files are traversing, in that scenario, it has to block. Deny means block. Okay. For denied related things, why NAT is required? Whether NAT is required? Something it is denying, already blocking. Whether security profile is required?
No need.
No need. That's what we discussed the theoretical part also. Already we are blocking. Just whatever theoretical we discussed, just you can apply now practically. That's all. Okay. So that is what I said. Security profiles, blocked activity, no need to select anything. Okay. So if you are theoretically you are perfectly, then there is no, this is not much difficult to understand. Okay. So now, so action is deny. So that's why we did not, there is no need to select any other security profiles because already it is blocking that particular activity related to malicious malware files traversing from the internal interfaces to the external related WAN interface, nothing but internet, and in between the users, all users to the PORT EDR related files, nothing but malware related files in the EDR tool. Okay, that is one of the policy. Second one, DNS policy, domain name resolution or domain name verification or reputation check. So source user or source interface is any interface, destination interface is any, okay, source any, all, destination is any, all. Okay, here schedule always it has to match this condition. Okay, service syslog and DNS. So the service, so syslog and DNS in the HTTP administrators tab, morning whenever we discussed part of network, whatever services if you want to monitor, those information we have to select. Example, I selected ping command, HTTP related thing. Additionally, we have seen so many SSH, syslog, DNS also. For this particular topic related to DNS, so they are monitoring syslog and DNS part. Okay, accept, action is accept. Okay, NAT is enabled. Nothing but in this role or in this rule or policy, whatever traffic it is coming up to DMZ, from DMZ internal interface, it has to map to public interface. Mapping the private IP address to public IP, or mapping the private interface to the public interface is called NATing. So this is already enabled one. That's why it's a enabled NAT policy. Okay. Now certificate inspection. So why we are monitoring certificate inspection role only? So because domain's a part of this particular fully qualified domain name, fully qualified domain name. Even we can enable one more thing, app control and web control also. In this particular profile, we can we can enable DNS security profile example. So we can enable DNS filtering profile also. We can provide app filtering, web filtering also. These three also we can enable. Okay, because domain name resolution, any end user maybe they can access domain name. It's a part of our website resolution or domain name resolution. Okay, so we can enable additionally DNS filter, app control, and web control also. Those three additional security profiles also we can monitor. Okay, and the logs all. So this much of the bytes or terabytes or gigabytes or megabytes or kilobytes it is occupying. Okay. So example, you can see syslog, nothing but all the logs. That's why it is occupying too much of the logs information, too much of the storage. Okay. So next rule is Intel NUC outbound. So maybe they have their own one of the okay policy name is or rule name is okay FIT Intel NUC outbound. So nothing but from internal to external, one of the traffic is going on outbound connections. Okay, their terminology may be different. Okay, so FIT NUC, this is one of the interface they configured. Port 4 also one of the interface. Morning we discussed this one. And to WAN interface. This which zone, guys? Which zone is this one? Which zone is this one?
Port 4 is internal, sir.
Internal. What about this one?
That is external internet.
Yes, that's correct. So this rule is nothing but internal to external or trust to untrust. Okay, here trust to untrust or trust to trust are all 6 scenarios applicable. What about this one? These two? Trust to untrust. WAN is nothing but untrust internet. These are all trusted one. Okay. So that is what generic way I provided, but Fortinet terminology wise, they are saying interface. So source interface, destination interface. Otherwise, source zone, destination zone. Both are same only. Terminology is different. Palo Alto, they will say source zone, destination zone. In Cisco also, they will say source zone, destination zone. Here they are saying source interface, destination interface. That is the acronym is different. Okay. Now, okay, so always and they given accept. Here you can see now. So security profiles, FNDR. okay, Fortinet network detection response, monitor all, high security certificate inspection. So these are all the customized security profiles. See, whatever we discussed is a default one. Did you observe or not? These are customized one. Okay. Customized security profiles. They are not enabling the default one. So example, you can go and you can see. So these F and D are able to identify now. So they have done the customization for their side. Okay, that one they are enabling the policies and objects now. So most of the cases will do customization only based on our business requirement. And those security profiles will enable. When you say enable, nothing but drop down list selection, that's all. So we have to select these four. So this particular traffic, whatever FNIT2 outbound connection traffic, they enabled antivirus scanning or malware scanning and monitor all. Okay. Next one is high security related. So next one is certificate inspection, SSL, SH scanning part. So this is the way how we have to configure all the policies. So every organization will not create same policies, guys. It depends what type of traffic we are monitoring, what is the inbound traffic, what is outbound traffic. So these policies not constant, whatever right now I'm sharing or explaining. So organization to organizations, these policies and also source zone, destination zone, source IP, destination IP, and also action may be different. Okay, that business requirement we have to gather from the different stakeholders. When you say different stakeholders, all other team members. Example, application development team, product development team, machine learning team, HR team, legal team, who wants to access what type of applications from where to where the traffic is going on. Internal to DMZ, DMZ to external, external to internal, vice versa. Okay. After configuring all these policies, finally, what is the last rule or last policy?
Implicitly deny.
Yes, implicitly deny. Okay, this is the implicitly deny rule. So whatever policies we configured, all other than if any additional applications or any other traffic is coming to the firewall level, it has to block. I'm repeating once again. Example, there are 20 rules are there. 20 rules are there. So in the 20 rules, so not even one of the end user is trying to do some of the activity. It is not matching the condition, top to bottom or top down approach. What the firewall validation rule? Top to bottom or top down approach. So whatever user activity is doing, it is not matching to all the 20 rules. So by default, what will do? So it will block it automatically, that activity, whatever user is doing, because condition is not meeting. Okay. So that is called implicitly deny. In case user is required particular activity, now we have to he has to raise a firewall request. Now I will give couple of scenarios. Example, one of the phishing email is coming. So on so IP address 1.1.1.1. After you have done all the analysis, now that 1.1.1. Reputation is a malicious one. What you will do? What you will do? What you will do? 1.1.1.1. So
Will block.
malicious IP address will block it.
Block the
So
file.
yeah, block in firewall. That IP address 1.1.1.1 we have to block in the firewall level. So now what is the name of the okay? So I name of the rule we will give, policy we will give, blocking of IP address 1.1.1. Okay. What is the source? What is source you will select?
End user.
Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second, only 1 second. Huh? Apologies, guys. Yeah. So Yeah, blocking of IP address 1.1.1.1. So name we will give that one. Source is any. Destination is 1.1.1. Okay. Destination is 1.1.1. Okay. So next one, source user any, destination is any. So schedule always, service all, action is deny. Even we can put opposite way also. Internal to external and external to internal also. So blocking of IP address we will do where now? In the firewall part of policies and objects tab or rules tab. Okay, that is one of the scenario. One more scenario we can discuss. Example, one of the brute force attack is coming from 120.1.1.1. You have done all the analysis. Now 120.1.1.1 is belongs to malicious IP. What you will do? What you will do?
Blocking, sir.
Yeah, blocking the IP address 120.1.1.1 in the firewall level. Now we have to come to firewall, and so blocking of IP address. Rule name is blocking of IP address 120.1.1.1. Source is any. Destination is 120.1.1. Source or any or all. Destination is any or all. Schedule, service all, action is denied. Whether we have to select anything security profile?
No.
No need to select
No.
any security profile because already we are blocking. For this one only, as I said, if you are dedicatedly selecting for cyber security SOC operations, okay, if you don't have the firewall related access or tool in the implementation point of view, then you have to raise separate ticket. What just now we discussed two scenarios. One is phishing email related malicious content, one is a brute force related malicious content. For these two different types of incidents, in case if you don't have the access, okay, then you have to come to firewall. You no need to come, you have to raise separate ticket. Okay, then you have to assign to the firewall team, they will block this one. Okay, this is what they will do normally. One more scenario I will give. This is on the cyber security SOC operation point of view. Couple of times, so even though we provided application control, web control, couple of individuals, they're not able to access the websites. What they will do normally, that is business oriented application. What they have to do? One of
They
the
have to raise,
application developer, yeah,
they have to raise a ticket, sir.
they will raise a ticket. Then it will come to firewall team. Firewall team, they have to enable. So whoever user is required, so that IP address of the user he have to provide here. Source to destination. Source is any, destination is internet WAN, source user 10.10.10.1. Destination, that particular website name. Okay. So now it's better to security profiles. You can select everything now because we are allowing the access now. Antivirus, malware scanning, DNS malware, DNS scanning, IDS IP scanning, WAF scanning, everything because we are allowing the connection now. So in that scenario, we have to enable everything. So one more thing, we discuss part of ports and protocols. Ports and protocols. One of the end user, example, data backup guy, is not able to, okay, copy the data from MySQL to PostgreSQL. Example, one of the data storage or backup guy is copying the data from the SQL database to PostgreSQL database. For that one, obviously, one of the port we have to open. Unfortunately, he's not able to copy the data. What he has to do now? What he has to do?
Request for the port of ticket.
Yes, that's correct. Request for the port to open ticket in the firewall level. Copying of the source is SQL, destination is PostgreSQL. Source user is whatever request is raised. All this information he will provide. Now that request will go to whom? Approver part. So whether that particular port, whatever end user is requested, copying of the data from the SQL database to PostgreSQL database, is there any risk is involved? After approval is completed, now firewall implementation team, they will open the port here. Okay, these are the couple of scenarios, guys. This is what normally in the firewall L1 team, L2 team, and L3 team they will do. Okay. So one is monitoring of the alerts and incidents. Second one is allowing of the websites, allowing of the ports, and also blocking of the websites and so on. So this is the role of L1, L2, and L3. Okay. Couple of places what we'll do normally. So implementation will be done by separate team and operations will be done by separate team. What is meant by this one? Alerts and instance monitoring will be done by separate team, and allowing of the ports and also allowing of the websites, blocking of the websites. Okay. Allowing of the IP addresses, blocking of the IP addresses, blocking of the domains will be done by separate team. That is implementation team. It depends which organization you are selecting. Okay. So that is about overall policies. Always implicitly denies the last rule. Whenever any end user or even external people, they are trying to access the internal application. So whatever policies we configure, it will follow the top-down approach or top to bottom approach. Whenever the condition is meeting, it will stop there itself the packet. It will not validate other rules. That is called top-down approach, top to bottom approach. So that is about overall firewall policies. So they provided several firewall policies. Multicast policy. Multicast policy is one of the rule. Okay, so most of the cases will configure here itself. 98% of the cases will configure here itself. So we'll go very rare cases to remaining policies. In case if you are using IPv6, then we'll go for IPv6 multicast policy. If we're going for multicast policy, multiple related policies we have to define with the source NAT. How many different types of NATs we have? How many different types of NATs we have? NATing. What are 3 different types of NATing? What are the 3 different types of NATing? It's entire question.
Static NAT, dynamic NAT.
One more.
Port NAT.
Yes. Static NAT, dynamic NAT, port NAT. These are the 3 different types of NAT. Here SNAT means static NAT. So your internal interface is configuring to only dedicate one public IP. So that is called static NAT. So dynamic NAT meaning a range of the IP addresses. Port NAT means along with IP address, we can provide the port also. That is called port NAT. There are 3 different types of NATing. We have static, dynamic, and port NAT. Multicast policy, we have to define static NAT. Okay, as I said, we will use very rare cases. We have to provide the name of the policy. Okay, source address, destination address, protocol number, nothing but port number, action, and the static NAT information. From where to where that particular NAT is configured. Okay, and IPv6, in case if you are using IPv6, anyway, we are not using IPv6, then we have to configure this policy. Okay, local in policy. So these policies are configured locally in the firewall level. It is applicable to only firewall level. So what they have done for each and every application along with protocol, they define the zone and service port number and action is accept. Okay. So example, HTTP using TCP protocol using port 4. It's one of the interface configured. It's internal interface. Port 80 accept. Within the local, when you say local in policy, internal to internal. Internal to internal. See, don't expect always we have to configure the policy from trust to untrust or trust to DMZ. Sometimes we can configure the policies internal to internal also. Internal also. Example, previously I given one of the scenario. SQL database to PostgreSQL database. Whether 2 databases were there in the single zone or different zones.
Same zone.
Same zone, internal zone. Example, this policy only. Okay. So example here I can put admin as a HTTP and protocol and the interface is source and port number. What are port number of the PostgreSQL database we want to open? We can provide that particular port number. internal to internal related. One interface only we have to specify because source and destination both are same only. Okay. So all these are interfaces. I already shown morning. Port 4, I think network under network administrators. Example, network interfaces you can go. For every interface, what type of service you want to monitor. Okay, so click on one of the any interface. Example, HA port 1. Here it will provide the now HTTP along with what are different types of services you want to monitor. You can see this is what I am explaining there. Local in policy, I'm explaining this one only. So in the interface, example, this is high availability interface. In these interfaces, administrative access HTTPS, HTTP, ping, FMG access, SSH, SNMP, FTM, radius. So these are the speed test. Okay, these are all the different types of interfaces we want to monitor. Why? Because when couple of times when you want to troubleshoot, if are enabling this one, example, now one of the high availability interface. Now I'll enable HTTP, HTTPS, ping command, SSH command, speed test, SNMP. Now I'll give save. Whenever this high availability interface is going down, in that scenario, now I can go to command prompt or I will go to command line interface. Then I will give ping whatever interface IP address is there. Example 0.0.0.0.0. Whether this connectivity is working or not. Why the high availability port is down? Okay. And also example, maybe high availability interface speed is very, very dead slow. Jitter or latency. Okay, it's very slow. Performance SLA. Okay. In that scenario, now I will go to this interface and I will check the speed test. What is the speed it is working in this particular interface? How much bandwidth as inbound or outbound it's going on? Downloading and uploading. Speed test. Okay, so that's why we have to enable. In the local policy, that's what we have to configure. Local in policy. So source interface, what are the different interfaces it is configured along with what are the applications you want to monitor. Okay, anything if it's going down, then we can come here and we can access. Customized applications also they have done. Okay. So customized meaning here, as I said, example, one of the end user, okay, wants to copy the data. So that service port number we have to enable. So and so interface protocol. Okay, example, session initiation protocol we want to enable. So custom application, example, telecom application, protocol SIP, source interface. So example, WAN interface, because communication will go outside, internet. WAN interface, port number 5060, 5061. Okay, that is what. So here we can even define the blocking of the ports also we can do here also. In the firewall policy also we can block, even here also we can block. And monitor also. Next one is IPv6 access control list, IPv4. In case if you want to implement any access controls. Okay, when you say access control, whitelisting and blocklisting of the packets. Whitelisting of the blocklisting of the packets. Okay, so example ID, rule ID number, name of the policy, or name of the access control, interface, through which interface that particular traffic is going on as inbound or outbound, source address, destination address, service, what exactly you want to provide access control. The example syslog. Syslog. So source interface, destination interface we have to define, and the action. So action is allow. Packets dropped, we no need to define anything. Once it is hitting to that particular policy, it will appear the packets dropped or allowed. Okay. So that is about IPv4 access control list. In the similar IPv6, okay, DOS policy. So I said already at the time of discussion of, so flooding category of the attacks. Flooding category of the attacks. firewall, in the firewall level, we have to define the throttling or rate limit. Throttling or rate limit. Okay. So this is the DOS policy, guys. So what are the preventive mechanisms for DOS and DDoS or flooding category of the attacks? Anyone? Flooding category of the attacks. Mitigation steps.
Baseline, sir.
Okay, baseline,
Throttling.
throttling,
Mm,
main thing you are not saying. These are all option 2 and option 3, whatever you said. Option 1. DOS and DDoS mitigation steps are flooding category of the mitigation steps. It's one of the interview question, famous interview question also. In parallel to ISP router, we have to deploy anti-DOS and anti-DDoS tools.
yeah.
So first option 1 is in parallel to ISP router, we have to deploy anti-DOS and anti-DDoS tools. That is the option 1. Okay, option 2 is a throttling. Throttling we can give in the web application firewall level, server level also. Third one is baseline. In case water baseline or threshold we have defined, it is crossing that baseline or peaks of the traffic it is coming, then it has to generate the alert notification. So these are the 3 mitigation steps for the DOS and DDoS. Now here, so DOS policy we are configuring. If we are going for Palo Alto, Cisco, Juniper, directly we can define the ICMP, how much throttling, and TCP, how much throttling, UDP, how much throttling. When you say throttling per second, how many requests? Okay. So next one is sync, how many requests? Everything we can enable. Okay. But here, Fortinet is not supporting that much granularity, unfortunately. So it's based on interface wise, it is showing. Okay. Example, policy of the DOS, ID number 1, rule number 1, or policy number 1, name of the policy, DOS policy. Okay. Interface. So obviously, which interface these DOS attacks will come? Which interface? Which interface DOS attacks will come?
ISP.
ISP, WAN interface.
WAN.
Internet interface. Internet or WAN, LAN, WAN, DMZ. As per Fortinet terminology, morning I told you already. Okay. So LAN, WAN, DMZ, right? So interface, so these flooding category of the attacks, most of the 99% of the case, it will come through attacker side only, attackers to internal. Okay, so attacker will target the millions of the flooding of the request to the targeted machine. Then finally, he will do the compromise and service is unavailable. Because of this reason, legitimate and authorized users are losing the service. That is called DOS attack. Single attacker, single user, or single server. Multiple attackers, single server. That is DDoS. Now interface, we have to select always as a WAN interface or internet interface or untrust interface. Source address, we can put any. Destination address, we can put any. Service, example, TCP, UDP, ICMP, okay. Sync, SYN. So these are all the different types of things we have to select. So this is the DOS policy part. Okay. So throttling also we can define, but unfortunately Fortinet is not supporting. Okay. Whenever any flooding of the traffic is generating in the organization level, this Fortinet firewall now give the alert notification. Alert notification. I will show Palo Alto also. Palo Alto granularity is very nice as compared to Fortinet. Palo Alto DNS policy. So Fortinet is showing as a based on the interface wise and also based on the source address and destination address. But in the Fortinet side, Palo Alto side, so here DNS signature, not this one. 1 second. I put the DNS policy, not DNS DOS. So everywhere we have to select the protocols wise: TCP flood, ICMP flood, UDP flood. Yeah, name of the policy DOS rule, aggregate profile DOS protection, DOS classified, source only, action is protect, and we have to select that number also. Nothing but per second, how many requests it should accepted. That is also we have to select. Yeah, this is what I'm referring. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
able to see my screen? Yeah,
Yes,
you
sir.
can see here DOS protection profile. So sync flood per second. So first we have to go and we have to identify. So what is the average baseline, or what is the maximum server should accept per second? How many requests? So synchronize. So example, 100 per second. UDP wise, how many? Okay, ICMP wise, how many? So ICMP v6 wise, how many? IP flood wise, how many? This is what I'm referring. Okay. So here we can directly define the per second, how many we can define, and also maximum how much. But what is Portnet is supporting? Portnet is doing in different way. But both are same concept only. Portnet is configuring based on, okay, interface wise, source order, destination otherwise. But Palo Alto directly we can define the throttling also. Okay, throttling also we can define maximum number or maximum request per seconds. Okay, that is the difference. So this is one IPv6 DOS policy. Okay, so in case if you are using IPv6 IP, then we have to define this one, proxy policy. So if you want to integrate and proxy also, if you want to configure, so you can configure this one. Whenever any user is trying to access any application related to browser, implicitly by default it is block. Implicitly it is blocked everything. But if you want to monitor something and if you want to create proxy policy, yes, we can create. We have to provide the outgoing interface. Okay, nothing but example WAN interface. Obviously, outgoing interface, WAN interface, destination interface. Source any, destination is any, action is accept. Okay. So interface policy. We are not integrating with the proxy server. Where we are integrating proxy server integration? Which tab we are integrating proxy server integration? Here we are creating only policy, rule, condition meeting, algorithm,
We are doing a
network,
network.
guys. Network proxy, explicit proxy. Okay. So that is the proxy integration. But here policy configuration we are doing now. Okay. ZTNA. What is ZTNA? What is ZTNA? In Sophos also I have shown you. We should not trust anybody in the organization level. What is that one is called as?
Zero trust network access.
Zero trust network access. That's correct. I created one of the YouTube video also for this one. It is one of the trending technology in the market. Zero trust network access, one of the trending technology or trending topic in the overall market. Nobody we should not trust. That is called zero trust, including employees also. Every time we have to verify the identity. Every time we have to verify the identity, user identity, who is accessing what, server, endpoint, application. So that is called zero trust network. Okay. So zero trust network, most of the case, identity and access management related tools we will use. IAM, Okta, Azure AD, and also Azure federated identity, Amazon federated identity. We discussed it's a part of Sophos EDR tool. integrating with the federated identity. Okay. So even not only external attackers, internal users also we should not trust. Maybe internal users also they can do hacking. Now here name of the ZTNA, zero trust network access, from source to destination, tag of the ZTNA server IP address, action, profiles. Profiles, all the profiles we have to configure. Okay, that is this is one of the new tab basically. Even the last time when I was teaching to the I think 12th batch online, ZTN is not there. Recently they added this one. Okay. Authentication rules. So authentication meaning here how this Fortinet firewall can be accessed, or Fortinet firewall can be accessed. Okay. Who wants to access this one? So example, give the name of the policy. Okay, next one, source address. How many users? Example, so-and-so user address. Protocol, example, HTTP or HTTPS. Authentication scam, either SAML or maybe OpenID Connect or WAUth 2.0 or Radius. There are different types of authentication related. Application authentication is different. Network authentication is different. So this application authentication, it will use the OpenID Connect, WAUth 2.0. Next one, it will use SAML authentication mechanisms. In case if you are using any Fortinet based single sign-on or maybe third party, example Okta, or maybe any other third party SSO, you can provide that IP address of the SSO. Example Okta, then we have to provide the Okta IP address. So whenever the user now, example, I will log out. So example, now if I want to log in now, this particular Fortinet tool, so it will ask username and password, demo. Click on login button. Now it will ask our Okta related OTP, single sign on. Okay, that is called authentication, guys. This is the meaning whatever they are saying. Okay, how to access the Fortinet tool? Okay, is there we are using third party? Okay, single sign on, or whether we are using directly SAML authentication mechanism. Go back to policies and objects. So jet authentication rules is over. Addresses. So addresses meaning here, so fully qualified domain name. So every time we cannot remember the computer name and host name and so on. Example 10.10.10.1, app.approd.com, 10.10.10.2, database.com, 10.10.10.3, laptop.hyderabad.suresh. In such a way, we can define the fully qualified domain name. Okay. Example, if you want to configure DHCP server, 10.10.10.1 to 10.10.10.255, nothing but 1 to 255 addresses. Okay. So in such a way, so we have to, for why we have to do these addresses classification or addresses or fully qualified domain name or details for remembering purpose. Otherwise confusion will be there. Now we can go and you can see example, cloud FAP engine. So this is belongs to 10.88.110.201. Whenever any traffic is coming from this IP, then I will come to know that it is one of the FAP engine. And it is going through this particular link, nothing but interface. In the similar way, so FortiEDR is an antivirus tool. So this IP address of the respective antivirus tool is 5.250.170.51. Whenever any traffic is coming from this particular IP address, that is belongs to FortiEDR. Just for our convenience purpose, we are mapping all this. Okay, IP address along with fully qualified domain name, or host name, or computer name, or system name, and also through which interface the traffic is going on. Okay, just for our convenience purpose, we are doing this one. This is applicable to every tool. Okay, next one is internet service databases. So here is in case any internet services Okay, already F1 Fortinet R&D team, they are configuring and also they are integrating with our Fortinet vendor. Okay, so that name of the respective internet service, whatever it is supporting till today. Okay, so you can see example DNS it is supporting, FTP it is supporting, okay, ICMP it is supporting, LDAP it is supporting, net bias information it is supporting, phishing email or outbound email. So in such a way, these are all the so far internet-based databases or services it is supporting. And also this traffic, it will go either one direction or both the directions. When you say both the direction, bi-directional. When you say destination, one direction. When you say destination, only one direction. When you say both, bi-directional. And the number of entries. Till today, how many number of entries it is tried and it is verified. Okay. You no need to configure anything here. This vendor will take care. We no need to do anything. Vendor, whatever supported internet services Fortinet is doing. Okay. So far 1858. We no need to do anything here. Just leave it, this one. So next one, services. So services here, whatever services or applications Fortinet vendor is supporting. Example, general related services, web access related. Web access obviously will use HTTP, HTTPS. General example, ping command and all. Messaging or file access. Okay, Samba, SMB, FTP, network file system, NFS, SFTP. Okay, all those are file access related. Email, IMAP. These are all just supporting related. We no need to configure anything also here. Whatever Fortinet vendor is supporting till today. Okay. So these are all messaging protocols, these file access protocols, web access protocols, ping related protocols. Okay, network services protocols, authentication protocols. These are network authentication, LDAP authentication, Kerberos, Radius. One more is, what is that? Anyone? One more network-based authentication mechanism. Taxas, TACACS, Taxas plus terminal account-based. Okay, terminal account authentication mechanism. Okay, so Kerberos mutual authentication, LDAP Active Directory authentication. Okay, Radius is remote access dial interface, some service, Radius server. Okay. Texas is not supporting, but Palo Alto is supporting Texas also. So just now I told you, authentication related to application is different. Authentication is related to network is different. Network will use, these are all the different types of authentication mechanism. Application can be used SAML and also OpenID Connect or OAuth 2.0. Remote access are, these are all the protocol, Telnet, okay, SSH, RDP also, RDP. These are all three things, virtual terminal. Okay. In the similar way, other related, okay, services. So far, whatever Fortinet is supporting. See, up to here, where we have to configure or implement maximum firewall policy only. That's what I told you. 99%, 98% of the case firewall policy. Additionally, DOS policy we will configure. Remaining everything is by default. There is no need to configure also. Just leave it. Okay. Schedules. When you say schedules, so when you want to get the signature updates, antivirus updates, malware updates, okay, next one is HIDS, HIPS update, network IDs, network IPS update, web application firewall updates. This one we have seen part of SOFO CDR also. SOFO CDR, what is the policy? We'll call it as. In SOFO CDR tool, getting the schedule updates, what we can call it as?
FortiGuard. Sorry.
In SOFO CDR policy name. Policy name. What are the policies we'll configure SOFO CDR? In SOFO CDR tool, what are the policies we'll configure? Policies, guys. Threat prevention, app control, web control. What else? What else? file integrity monitoring, update management, unlock, DLP. These are all the policies we'll configure the SOFA CDR. So whatever I'm asking just now, update management. Just compare whenever you are learning the tools, compare one tool with another tool so that it is easy to remember. Okay. So in the SOFA CDR, we can call it as update management. In the Fortinet terminal, they can call it schedules. Of getting the regular antivirus, DLP, web application firewall, proxy, IDS, IPS, DNS, voice over IP, file related, all those we can call it as scheduling of the manual updates. So FortiGuard will give, that's correct. Okay. So next one is virtual IPs. So virtual IPs, we will configure here IPs, IP address information. Okay. So nothing but what is the range of the IP addresses? What is the range of the IP addresses? Example, all the interfaces, one IP address range related to server LAN. Okay. Server LAN 10.10.10.1 to 10.10.10.255. Okay. Next one, database LAN 10.10.10.2 to 10.10.10.255. In such a way, we have to configure the IPs. Okay, so just configuring of these IPs. Example here, they configure multiple Fortinet related devices, virtual IPs. Okay. Next one, IP pools, pool of the IPs. From where to where? What is the range of the IPs? Enter range of the data center, wherever this firewall is deployed. Wherever this firewall is deployed. Okay. And also utilization of this IP and also utilization of the each and every IP. Pool utilization and here individual IP utilization. Nothing but how much utilization it has taken each and every IP. So protocol options. So just you can keep this one as a default one. There is no need to change. Example, click on this one. So these are all the different types of protocols so far Fortinet vendor is supporting. HTTP 80, SMTP 25, POP3 110, IMAP 143, FTP 21 or 20, NTP 190, NNTP, not NTP. What is NTP port number? What is
110.
NTP? 110, 123. Yeah. Okay, these are all mapping part. It's by default. We are not changing anything here. Tropic shaping. Okay. So tropic shaping means how much bandwidth. Okay, so on an average of threshold, it is coming maximum bandwidth. Okay, so this is what, so till, okay, from up to ZDTNA2 till traffic shaping, we can keep everything is by default. We no need to change anything as implementation. Okay, I'm repeating once again. ZTNA2 till traffic shaping, we no need to change anything. Just you can leave it as it is by default. Okay, in this policies object, there is no confusion, guys. I'm giving too much in-depth analysis. Couple of people are not able to understand, I know that. But only one thing in the policies and objects, what exactly we have to do, we have to create firewall policy. Just you can remember that one, that's more than sufficient. First, we have to gather the requirement from the respective business or stakeholders from where traffic is going on. We have to identify and then create a policies. Okay, because Fortinet vendor is supporting so many policies. We no need to configure all these policies. We are configuring firewall default policy that is more than sufficient. Additionally, DOS policy also, these two. Remaining from ZDTNA, nothing but zero trust network access to up to traffic shaping, you can keep everything is default. So default you are keeping also, it can identify and it can block. It can give alert notifications as well. Okay. So that is about overall policies. Policies based on organization to organization, it will vary. Based on the business requirement, it will vary. It is not like same whatever we are showing here. Maybe example, you are selected for Wipro. Your client is related to Netherlands bank, Dutch bank. Okay. Don't expect same policies you will see in the Dutch bank. Based on the Dutch bank business Sorry guys, some internet issues. It is reconnected. So what is the total final conclusion for the morning session and evening session? Okay. So morning whatever we discussed and evening class also whatever we are discussing now. So these two are complete implementation level. You no need to remember everything. Okay. So just as a my suggestion, if you are selecting for firewall dedicated vacancy, L1 or L2 or L3 level you can go. Even they were selected for the implementation level, please don't go and join for the implementation of the firewall. Why? Because straight away, instead of going to the operational support and you are going for implementation, it is difficult to manage. Okay. First, as per my advice and opinion, you can work for 6 months. In case if you are selected for the firewall, maybe 6 months you can work for the operational support. Later, you can switch over to the firewall implementation. Coming back to the dedicated to SOC operation, what is our role in firewall? What is our role in firewall? Firewall logs integration, and also doing the packet capture, and also in case any drill down it is happened, analyzing of those logs. That's all. Nothing else we can do in the firewall level. As I'm repeating once again, in case you are selected for this Splunk or IBM QRadar or Exabeam or Azure Sentinel, what is your role in the firewall? Okay, firewall just logs integration and doing the packet capture. Other than these two, nothing else you will work on the if you are selecting for SOC operations. Whatever I'm teaching, entire information related to dedicated to firewall vacancy. Dedicated to firewall vacancy. Implementation, L1, L2, L3, even design also. Hope it's clear. Okay. So as I said, whenever any malicious IP address blocking, allowing of the websites, blocking of the websites, so then we can raise a separate ticket. But you should be aware of all this concept at least. Blocking of IP address, how we can do, blocking of URL link, blocking of website, and so on. Okay. So that's all for today evening. So what is the total? Okay. So today class, network related configurations, policies and objects. In policies and objects only, firewall policy. That you can go and you can play with this tool. If you have any queries, let me know. Yeah, Naeem Pasha is asking, sir, I'm not able to understand. Okay, so class is a little bit fast because all these topics are completely, it's a new to you. Okay, and also I'm explaining in depth, like implementation level. That is the reason you are not to cope up. Okay, so you are not going for the implementation level, just operational support only. As I said, operational support, you will not, no need to do this much in depth. Okay, so all these things for future purpose. Okay, hope it's clear. Yeah, any other doubt?
Sir,
Yes, Kranti.
in the policies you have said about addressing tab, right?
Yes.
in that you said we have to, whatever the things we are interfacing with our firewall, we have to maintain the address. Can't the AD do that?
No, network admin team also they will want. It's a good question. Network engineer team is there, right? Network engineer team or network admin team, they will map. Okay, so see, admin, Active Directory or sysadmin team or Windows admin team, they will map only just okay, computer name or laptop name or MacBook name and workstation name. That's all. But they will not take care of the router name, switches name, load balancer name, printer names, and so on. Right? So only in the Active Directory cases, they will do it. But what about remaining network devices and database servers, those who will take care? That is the reason. So it's better to map that one in the firewall level also. Whenever any traffic is coming, we can go and we can see easily. There is no dependencies there. There is no need to ask other stakeholders. So that's why it's better to map.
Okay, okay.
Just for identification purpose, yeah. Any other? Okay, guys, thank you so much and good night. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock class is there. 8 o'clock. Okay, guys, good night.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.